A strong jobs report for the month of June showing 224,000 jobs added. Unemployment ticked up a bit to 3.7%. Still, that is nearly a 50-year low. But on Wall Street, stocks are lower after yesterday's record close. Gene Marks is here. He's a CPA and business columnist for the Washington Examiner and Forbes. Steve, good to have you. Gene, good to have you. First of all, great jobs numbers today. Thank you, Gene. Great jobs numbers today. 17%, I believe, in manufacturing. Do you see job growth continuing? And if so, in what areas?
Well, I can tell you a few things, Arthel. First of all, far be it from me. I have little sympathy for people that complain about this economy because it's so good. But I'm going to complain about the economy, right? Because that's what we do. When you talk about job growth, I do see job growth continuing over the next couple of years, but it's tough. And the reason why it's tough is because a lot of small businesses, a lot of medium-sized companies are having a hard time filling these jobs. So right now we're seeing, the unemployment rate is holding steady. A lot more people have entered in the workplace. That's a good news. But most of my clients, Arthel, that are out there their growth is inhibited a little bit because they're still trying to find people to put to work. So I'm looking to see continued job growth. I think that's fine, but I don't think it's going to be as strong as a lot of people are predicting.
But why can't they find the people? Is it because those jobs that you're talking about are not high-paying jobs? And before you answer that, tack this on as well, because I want to talk about underemployment. I mean, 3.7% unemployment is great, but what about those who are underemployed? How does that factor into the overall health of the economy?
Well, to answer your first question, one of the biggest reasons why a lot of employers, remember, small businesses hire 50% of the workforce out there. It's the big companies that are snapping them up. Some of that, of course, can be blamed on larger companies paying more and offering better benefits. But a lot of small companies themselves have got to step up and offer better wages themselves as well. And a lot of my clients, a lot of my readers are realizing that as well. It's a very, very competitive market for finding good employees, which brings me back to underemployment. Skills are really needed as well. So where there's a lot of lower entry jobs that are open right now, which is good. Many of them are being replaced by automation, and a lot of employers themselves are looking for more skilled employees, and that's another big challenge to them. So it's a great number for the jobs. The economy is going very strong. That's good. But there are still some headwinds that we're looking at over the next few months, over the next year. But isn't there always, Arthel? There's always challenges, right?
Well, and now with that, we're going to segue to Wall Street. What goes up must come down. Are we headed for a downturn?
Well, first of all, do you realize that since the president was elected back in 2016, the market is up 55%? Which is just like an astounding number. So if there is a downturn in stocks, I think a lot of investors are willing to absorb that, considering the returns and the gains that they've had over the past couple of years. But there are some headwinds there as well. For example, corporate earnings. Many people are expecting this quarter to be less, about 2.5% less than it was the same time last year. A lot of companies are also buying back less of their own stock than they were over this past year as well, and that's had a lot to do with the demand on the market. And then, of course, we're seeing a lot in the news about the Fed being involved. I mean, if the economy is going strong and if jobs are going good, the Fed obviously has less motivation to lower interest rates or even keep them steady. And if interest rates go up, or if the Fed keeps the way they are, if people have more options to invest their money for retirement savings and interest-bearing accounts, that could have an impact on stocks as well.
But the president wants the rates to stay low.
He does. And, the president knows, he is a smart guy, the impact that the stock market has on the psychology of his voters. So we're feeling wealthier now because stocks have been going up. And he is going to be using his position to take as much advantage as possible over the way that the stock market goes, which is why he's trying to have an influence over the Fed and keeping interest rates low. But you know what? The Fed is independent of the president. And Jerome Powell has said before that he will do what is necessary to do for the American economy. And he could very well, raise interest rates if he thinks the economy is heating up too much.
So you know that 94% of the very rich are invested in stocks, whereas 27% of the middle class are in the stock market. So we got to look out for the midsection of our country as well, right? Got to go, but just say yes or no.
A lot of people have a lot of.
You agree or no?
Well, a lot of people have a lot of money in retirement funds as well, all across the middle class. I think we're all benefiting from the increase in the market, Arthel.
We'll live on that positive note. I like it, Gene Marks. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
All right, we watch the markets. Closing bell here in about 2 hours and 12 minutes. President Trump, though, not giving up on efforts to add a citizenship question to the 2020 census. The administration's deadline, 12 minutes from now. We'll see what they do. And it's been 42 days since anyone has seen Jennifer Dulos, where police are now searching for clues and what her estranged husband is saying about this.
Wow, that's Ensure Max Protein with high protein and 1 gram sugar.
It's a sit-up, banana. Bend at the waist. I'm trying.
Keep it up. You'll get there.
Whoa!
30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. Ensure Max Protein.
Oh my, this Heinz mayonnaise is so creamy. One day you'll tell your grandkids about it. And they'll say, Grandpa, just tell us about Humpty Dumpty. And you'll say, he broke his pelvis or whatever. Now back to my creamy Heinz mayonnaise. Heinz mayonnaise, unforgettably creamy.
And Doug.
What do all these people have in common, Limo? Exactly. Nothing. They're completely different people. That's why they need customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual. They'll only pay for what they need. Yes, and they could save a ton. You've done it again, Limu. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
A special Tucker Carlson tonight.
You've been briefed on unidentified flying objects.
With more from the exclusive interview with the president.
Are they real?
Tonight on the next Tucker.
It's FC Kerbeck's store-wide 4th of July Barbecue. Now held over. Save 20, 30, up to 40% off original MSRP. Over 400 Cadillacs, Mercedes-Benz, Buicks, and GMCs. Barbecue.
I'm Frank Kerbeck. Come join us.
Hey, I'm Bill Slowski Jr. I live on my own now. I've got Xfinity because I like to live life in the fast lane. Unlike my parents.
You rambling about Xfinity again?
You're so cute when you get excited.
Anyways, I got their app right here. I can troubleshoot. I can schedule a time for them to call me back. It's great.
You have our number programmed in?
Yeah, I don't even know your number anymore.
Excuse me?
What?
I don't know your phone number.
Oh,
he doesn't know our phone number.
You have our fax number, obviously.
Today's Xfinity service. Simple, easy, awesome.
I'll pass.
Hi, Chris Stigall here for my good friend Roy Malumian and Malumian Oriental Rugs. After a century of business, Malumian Oriental Rugs is closing their doors for good. Go right now to get your choice of over 10,000 exquisite heirloom quality rugs with the expert consultation that sets Roy Malumian apart. This is your golden opportunity to save up to 80% on an heirloom rug from Philadelphia's Oriental Rug Authority.